Had a recent comment that an old viewer has come back to the game trying to learn some Nurgle, and just so happened to have gotten the Nurgle replay from Ryder Rohan, which didn't expect from him, but is certainly interesting to see. I guess he's branching out from his elvendom. Not again, but a bit more, I guess. But anyway, yeah, Festus exists. The fact that the replay was called Rare Festus Dub should tell you something about the current state of Festus in the meta, but today we're going to see him against the Tomb Kings. Tomb Kings do historically not have the best tools for killing infantry lords, so he should be reasonably safe here as long as he stays away from, like, Cetra. He's got a couple of spawns to protect. He's got some Chosen as well, so lots of power here concentrated in a big blob, as is good for Nurgle. We've got a couple of Chaos Knights with lances as well, and then the Angels of Decay. On the Tomb King side looks like Cetra and a Bone Giant, along with the Blessed Legion. We're looking at Lich Priest here, very interesting choice. Nehakaran Warriors and Spearmen. Chosen the Gods Ushabti, and a couple of Carrions in the sky, as well as Skeleton Horse Archers. Currently taking a few shots, and is that like green goop, or no, it is actually somewhat red blood colored. Interesting. I was curious if that, I mean, obviously that's from these Angels of Decay taking a couple of hits, a little bit of HP damage, but of course Festus has his healing aura active as they approach, so as long as unit models don't die here, they'll be fine. But oh, Angels getting absolutely ravaged there as the Blessed Legion and the Chosen of the Gods also fire at them, but critically, again, only it's lost a single unit model, so there's something to be said for that. The Carrions are going to move in, and not sure, Angels could try and hard land here, which it looks like they're going to. And one thing about skeletons, skeleton horsemen are quite slow when it comes to light cavalry. They're probably the slowest light cavalry in the game, and as such, they can get caught by Chaos Knights with their 70 speed. Yeah, especially once that poison kicks in. Skeleton Horsemen are literally just slower than the Chaos Knights, even without their charge speed, so that is quite a brutal catch and defeat there. Basically for free, 500 points in the bag. And yeah, we can see that the Marauders and Chosen getting in range to start engaging in combat. One Chaos Knight was kind of thrown out here to try and pressure Chosen of the Gods. They are drawing a huge amount of value away from the main fight. But Kipperguard also looking like they're getting involved with the Marauders, who don't actually have a charge order here. Kipperguard don't have a lot of armor, so if they actually had gotten a solid rear charge there, I don't know. They're saturated with Spearmen. It might not have done that much damage at the end of the day, but Chaos Knights on the other side continuing to pursue Marauder Horsemen. The Bone Giant got rushed down relatively quick, but is still unleashing some shots here. Angels of Decay just eating damage. A little bit of healing on them as well, but let's see if they can get away in time to save themselves. We're going to see Rancid Visitations upgraded on the Bone Giant there, and it looks like the Angels are going to throw what little ammunition they can at him. Yeah, get a few shots in there to try and recoup a tiny bit of value, but he also gets engaged in melee by the Chaos Knights, who themselves get netted by the Light Priest, Lich Light Priest here. Did bring the Exorcism for map-wide and magical attacks, just in case of demonic units, which there aren't actually many of besides the Angels of Decay themselves. But anyway, the Chosen are going to be quite tough. Thing is, there's a lot of value being spread into the different units here, right? The Bone Giant not able to make consistent contact. Chosen of the Gods getting chased around by this Chaos Knight. So like the Chaos Knight taking lots of damage in the process. It's still, you know, basically trading out the Chosen here, which is quite good. Protecting the Chosen from the Chosen is basically the win condition at this point for Nurgle in many ways, right? The Chosen are such powerful units. They are quite expensive and slow, though, so the counters that the Tomb Kings have for them are definitely going to be their range damage here, right? I don't want to fight them in melee as much as possible. Kepperguard might be able to hang for a little bit, but even then, that's going to be a quality mismatch. So Chosen of the Gods and the Bone Giant really need to be shooting at the Chosen of Nurgle right now, but so far have not been able to effectively. Let's see, Chosen of the Gods are going to get free here as this Knight routes. Angels of Decay somehow hanging in the fight. They only have 5 unit models left at this point, but are getting some more healing elixirs, so they're getting at least some value to claw back here. And yeah, big blob of warriors, or no warriors actually, just Marauders and Chosen. That is kind of the state of Total War Warhammer 2 in many ways. Like, there are many the situations where you can make elite infantry work, especially Ryder Rohan has a lot of experience making elite infantry work in various matchups and battles, but tend to see either top end or bottom end or a mix of both. Mid-tier infantry, I'm trying to think through. There's not a lot of mid-tier infantry that I would say are very meta right now. Yeah. Maybe I'm not the most in touch with the specific meta, because I am a dirty memer after all, but interesting nonetheless. Let's see, Cetra getting caught up here in the spawn. And yeah, that healing elixir is just putting in massive work in a big brawl fight like this. Healing even the low tier units is nice, but like the Angels of Decay, the fact that they're still hanging around, the Chosen are basically untouched. They've lost a single unit model, and yeah, they're essentially like full health right now, right? They can keep that health more or less maxed because of the low amount of damage that they're taking, combined with the heal on the other side, and another Rancid Visitation's being cast, this time on Cetra, trying to damage the Lord here of the Tomb Kings. Definitely the right call. But the spawn plus the Chosen is a lot of mass blocking from the spawn, and then of course armor-piercing damage from the Chosen. Massive amounts of damage when they're in a surround and they're able to continue to do attack animations. So I really like the combination here. It's actually, yeah, Cetra right now is kind of mostly avoiding getting trapped in by the spawn. If we take an overhead look, Chosen of the Gods also getting some really nice fire in the back of the spawn here. Blessed Legion and the Skeleton Horse Archers shutting that down. So yeah, Cetra able to survive that. Still taking some damage from the Chosen in the process, though. And, oh no, Festus. What happened, Festus? I looked away for 1 minute and you got routed by a Lich Priest. Festus. Why do you do this? Anyway. Yeah, no idea why he's not coming back from rout at this point, but there he goes. Just barely. I guess Lich Priest gets far enough away. Full Foz protection on himself, but let's see. The unduel of the fates. That Foz protection will wear off relatively shortly, although while it's active, the Lich Priest does have a pretty good advantage here, but a little couple of Death's Heads landing in the back there, and Festus actually manages to get some good dice rolls. Yeah, the Lich Priest, very low attack. Without that Foz protection, really, it's not a match here, but Cetra's coming over. Festus with his Cauldron trying to lumber away. Not the most nimble guy, as we see the Angels fall there for the last time. Oh, Bone Giant, little near miss there. Almost friendly fire Cetra on that one. But, oh, let's see. Foz protection. I said, yeah, we'll see. I don't know about this. Rancid Visitation's going to come in, deal another big chunk of damage to Cetra. Basically like Spirit Leech on steroids, and that might be enough to actually finish him off, or at least send him into crumbling here. And, yeah, I do think it's going to be pretty tough for the Tomb Kings to come back from that. They've just used a lot of value with shooting not unimportant targets, but basically everything except the Chosen, although, I don't know, Chosen of God's still the Chosen on the Tomb King side here. Lots of Chosen. They still have plenty of ammunition. Maybe enough to kill this one full unit of Chosen. We shall see. But the spawn are able to pressure here, get a little bit of healing elixirs on them. 7 unit models alive in this unit, so that is a nice benefit of Festus, right? Spawn's not a normally unit you would like spend active heals on, right? But when you have a nice passive heal, they're a unit that can benefit from it quite a bit, especially that Nurgle, you know, extra melee defense. They last a little bit longer than a typical spawn in melee. So there's a lot to gain from a situation like this, and the build like this definitely. But wouldn't work against all factions. And Festus, yeah, he's a little bit tricky to use, but certainly is almost heal capped himself at this point. Gonna chase down and eliminate the Bone Giant while we get a nice engagement between the Kepler Guard and this unit of Chosen here. Late game. Again, the Chosen should just mop this quality-wise, especially with Festus healing them. Although Foz protection comes in, the Kepler Guard have healing of their own, of course, from their passive regeneration trait. Yeah, 68 melee defense with that Foz protection. And additional armor as well. Kepler Guard don't have the greatest armor, but of course, it doesn't matter too much against the 38 AP of the Chosen of Nurgle here. Ooh, I don't know. Both sides dumping in some value. The Skeleton, the Blessed Legion here. in particular, of course, also has armor sundering, and they've used up pretty much all of their ammunition, right? So taking those Chosen down with the exhaustion and the armor sundering down to just 68 armor, the Kepler Guard were actually able to rout them, you know, essentially while crumbling, which means that it's pretty much a trade, but crumbling is better than regular leadership because you don't rout, so that basically shows that. But, oh, I don't know. The Tomb Kings, they are just now starting to run out of ammunition. So let's fast forward a little bit further as the Chosen manage to rally, fight back, finish off the Kepler Guard despite that other Faw's protection. And the Chosen trudge forward ever so slightly, taking some arrows in the process. It's not conquest, so they can't just go to the objective, but healing elixirs will help them, again, against this kind of low-grade damage that's being done by these battered missile units. So they'll basically just be able to heal through it, and at this point, the longer the Tomb Kings wait, the worse it's going to be, the more and more these Chosen are going to heal. Except they're not actually in range of the healing elixirs. Ooh, maybe a disaster for Rider Rohan as he tries to get back in. One Chosen manages to rally. The Blessed Legion with their bows and their Kapesh, which they are certainly not the most skilled at using. Yeah, their combat stats are absolute garbage. Same thing with the, well, I don't know, Chosen the Gods here. Their stats aren't necessarily garbage, but in melee against Nurgle Chosen, not the best. Let's see if they can just use their mass to try and push through and cycle charge here. Definitely what they should do, even with that measly 13 charge bonus. It's better than nothing. And certainly the impact damage from the mass will help. But Festus is just about in a situation where he can switch to his damage aura, which he definitely should at this point. I don't know, maybe try and heal that Chosen for as long as they're here. I definitely agree with that. If you can maybe keep them fighting, honestly, maybe they won't rout. Wow, they've been wavering for quite some time, but just refusing to go very much in theme with Nurgle. But let's see. Yeah, their leadership, ooh, barely flash negative for like half a second there. Not enough to make them rout. Continue fast forwarding through this grind. Okay, so they eventually do rout, and then we see the Harbinger of Pestilence. Once Festus literally has nothing he can heal, he himself is heal capped, all his units are routed. He's going to switch to the damage aura, and that should finish off these multi-model units as they try and fight him. Yeah, he's the Chosen of the Gods. You can see they're just not able to DPS Festus down fast enough before his own damaging aura quite slowly kills them. Oh, we got a few more Tomb Kings units that want to rumble. The Lich Priest for the final Duel of the Fates. Can he do it? Oh, Festus with the counter charge. Let's get in close and watch these two casters. Festus pouring out his bottle here as an attack animation. Does it again. Seems to be intent on... Whoop, whoop. Just throw a little something there. And there it is. Synchronized flap of their wings. Carrion go down, and quite the endgame victory there. Yeah, quite an interesting build, I have to say, from Rider Rohan. On many levels, it makes a lot of sense. Like I said, Tomb Kings generally struggle, don't have great tools for killing infantry lords. Festus then, stand to reason, has a decent chance of actually doing what he needs to here, healing and value-wise. I mean, obviously the late game damage was super clutch. Just throughout, healing these units, helping keep them, a lot of them in the fight, longer than they should have. In particular, obviously, the Chosen synergy is obvious, but Spawn synergy is also quite nice here as well. Angels of Decay still didn't pay for themselves, but they avoided absolute disaster by still getting some value at least. And yeah, credit to Last Mohican here. Definitely tried very well, I would say. Did a great job here. Kepler Guard gets some amazing value there. Great value on all the ranged units, except the Bone Giant, maybe? I guess... Well, a couple of the Skeleton Horsemen also get eaten by that Chaos Knight, by that Chaos Knight, which is just amazing. But, yeah, Kepler Guard, 20,000 damage dealt, super impressive. 21,000 damage dealt, 3,000 damage value on the Chosen of the Gods there. And Blessed Legion, 11,000 damage dealt, 1,500 gold value. So just great work on all those units here. Light, super interesting choice as well for the Lord Magic. Again, I kind of like the Exorcism for the magic damage, although... Nurgle, I guess maybe you're expecting like a line of like Plague Bearers here, but historically like Saurus and Plague Bearers have at times been good in this matchup. I know I was saying mid-tier infantry aren't that good earlier, but it's maybe something to consider, but at the same time, yeah, I really like this setup from Rider of Rohan here, so hopefully y'all learned something. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.